See this little bitch right here? She thick. Today, I'm gonna take you guys on the same journey I've taken myself, and that journey is across the beautiful motherland we all, most of us, probably call home. I've gone to a few states, so I just wanted to go through the states that I have dashed in and tell you which one I liked best. And we'll start with the first one, which is Massachusetts, because while I am originally from Texas, I didn't start dashing or Uber eating. I didn't start doing any of that until I was in Massachusetts. Honestly, I think it's a decent place to start, but it does have its woes, which we will go through here. But we'll start with the pros, okay? I mean, they had average tips, I've seen worse tips in my days. Pretty normal. Hey, I'm letting you know. Here's a tip. I mean, it's nothing special. It's just, it's a tip. It is a tip, I'll give you that. The other thing was plenty of free cigs and drinks if you ever wanted them. I rarely drink ever, and I go to bed at 8:30, so I really don't partake in the alcohol, but I can't tell you how many times I went to drop off an alcohol order and was just immediately offered one of the beers I was delivering. On top of the beers, I also got offered tons of free cigarettes, and if I was a smoker, totally would have taken it up on it, but I have asthma, so can't really do that. So, plenty of drinks, plenty of cigs. If you're into that, definitely recommend it. Don't recommend it, I don't. Now, on to the cons. Massachusetts definitely had its cons, okay? Let me tell you. Let's start with the roads, okay? When winter comes, I think most people already know this, but when winter comes and the snow settles and, there's a lot of freeze melting going on with Massachusetts in their winter. So when the melting happens, obviously it seeps down into the roads, and then once the freeze comes, all that water expands and makes all these crevasses and potholes and just a hellish landscape to be driving on. I got the most flat tires in Massachusetts that I ever have, and you're like, why don't you just avoid it? Well, sometimes you can't. You avoid one pothole, but just end up in another pothole. Like, there's no win-win situation sometimes. The other thing, right, we always hear about mass holes. For the most part, honestly, I love the people in Massachusetts because I wouldn't consider them rude. I'd consider most people straightforward, and they just don't care what you think about them, honestly, most of the time. And if you have a problem, they'll figure it out with you. But that does lead to some very rude customers and some very rude restaurant workers. So I don't really want to get into all that, but it definitely had one of the higher groupings of not so nice people. No parking. I mean, I never got a ticket while I was out there. Everyone's just parking wherever they can park. If that's on top of a person, a car, the police, anything. They'll just park anywhere. And it's okay, I mean, it's okay until it's not okay, right? On to Ohio. I knew Ohio had some pretty bad parts, but I didn't really do my research. Oh, sorry, we gotta start with the pros. Sweet as can be customers, okay? They were so nice. I love the houses out there. We're not talking about the houses, though. Very nice customers. Sick-ass roads. That was about it. So for the stuff I didn't like, the tips were god-awful. At least the area I was in. I probably got like 2 decent tips, but everything else was just like, oh, why even tip? Why even tip at that point? Bad tips. Naughty tips. I didn't do too much research though in Ohio. I was on the west side. Because I had read the east side was bad, then someone said the west side was bad, and then I got told the east side was bad again. So I just flipped a coin and went to the west side because I just couldn't figure out which side was bad. But I didn't run into any bad people. Very standoffish staff. Like, it was, it was just kind of like a war zone most of the time. And you had to be aggressive most of the time to even get your order. It was always very crowded. The staff really had no time for you. If they were too busy, you were just fucked. Like, you weren't getting anything. So that wasn't one of my favorite parts of it. But I only was dashing there for like 3 days, so really don't have too much experience with it. But from what I saw, I wouldn't enjoy dashing there, I don't think. And of course, who could forget the beautiful state of Colorado? I can't tell you guys how much I love Colorado. I understand why people go there and never leave. I totally get it. Anyways, pros. I think they speak for themselves. Look at that. Beautiful scenery. I mean, anytime you're driving around, it always looks like you're looking at a desktop screensaver. It's awesome. Huge tips. Oh my gosh. I've never gotten such huge tips. I cannot put enough emphasis on that. Oh, don't all flock to Colorado and steal my tips, okay? Alright, because I'm coming back for them. On top of the huge tips, everyone is so freaking nice. My staff, I mean, I rarely really had to wait on an order unless it was like a shitty chain fast food place. I mean, no matter where you go, those are normally gonna suck. Especially Popeyes. I'm looking at you. I don't know what happened to you, but you need to get it figured out. Quick service, huge orders, you know, cheap weed. Oh, sick. Now for the cons. Sometimes the distances were a little medium range. Tolls. That was my biggest thing, was the tolls. So many tolls. There was not one delivery that I did. Maybe one. Maybe one. It was to my own apartment. Maybe one delivery I did. I didn't have to jump on the highway and hit a toll. I can't speak for every single area in Colorado, but the area I was in, which was basically in the middle of Boulder, Denver, and the mountain ranges, and the tolls they seem cheap at first until you have to hit them 5 to 10 times a day. Didn't appreciate the tolls that much. And last but not least, we've come full circle. I didn't start dashing in Texas, but this is my home state, so I was excited to actually finally get to dash here and see what the experience was like, and it's okay. No, it's good. It is good. It's good. You know, the houses and hubs are decently close. Not as close as Massachusetts, but not as far as Colorado or Ohio. There's plenty of orders. You know, cheapest gas I've come across. Colorado is second in gas, but Texas, I mean, I'm paying like, it's down to like $3.99 again. Very cheap gas. But the cons, average wait times, mid-range tips. Actually, you know, I guess I should have been a pro, because the tips are a lot better than Ohio and a lot better than Massachusetts, right below Colorado. You know, they're doing us right out here in Texas, which is something I wouldn't have assumed, honestly. I was expecting 50-cent tips in Texas for some reason. The final con that I think everyone can agree with, if you've ever lived in Texas, or anywhere that reaches above 100 degrees every day of the summer.
It's hotter than the sun's ass here, okay?
But of course, the winner state, can you guess? Can you guess who's gonna win? It's Colorado, baby. Colorado. I can't wait to come back, Colorado. I can't wait. I miss you. I miss you so much, Colorado. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't move to Colorado because I'm coming back and I want my tips. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.